You don't realize how hard it is to film yourself until you actually have to do it. Summertime and the living's easy. And you know what else is easy? Getting a sunburn. My name is Melissa, and I'm going to tell you what a sunburn is, how you can prevent it, and the consequences of getting too much sun. Now, according to the Mayo Clinic, a sunburn is when your skin becomes red or pink and it's very hot to the touch. It's usually caused from being overexposed to UV light, and this can even be going outside in the regular sun or going to a tanning bed under UV lights. Some of the symptoms of a sunburn is pink or red skin that feels hot to the touch, pain, tenderness, itching, swelling, blisters like small fluid-filled sacs on your skin, headaches, fevers, chills, fatigue, and your skin typically will peel 4 to 7 days after exposure. Now, your pain typically will worsen 6 to 8 hours after you're exposed to sun. So right away you might not feel anything from the sun, but then later on in the evening you're definitely going to feel the after effects of it. According to Dr. Berman from the U.S. National Library of Medicine, 10% of people that are exposed to skin actually have sun poisoning. And if you don't know what sun poisoning is, it's actually a sunburn that has small bumps that progress into dense clusters of bumps and hives. It's very dangerous, it can be fatal, and you really need to watch for dehydration if you're exposed to that. Dr. Khanna from eMedicine Health says a sunburn depends on the amount of melanin that's in your skin versus the UV light that you're exposed to. So if the UV light that you're receiving outweighs the melanin in your skin, you're going to get sunburned. And melanin is actually what protects your skin. And a lot of this is dependent on the color of your skin. People that are darker have greater amounts of melanin than people that are lighter. So say for instance you're like me, you're fair skinned, and you go outside for 15 minutes and you might get lobster red. Someone with a darker skin tone could spend the same amount of time out into the sun and it not be any near bad. Or they could go out for 2 hours and receive the same sunburn that you received in 15 minutes. Also, according to Dr. Khanna, the factors more likely for you to be sunburned are if you're an infant or child, your skin's a lot more sensitive than adults are. If you're fair-skinned, the golden rule is if you have freckles, make sure you put on some SPF. It's definitely going to protect you out there. The sun is strongest from 10 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. It's also strongest in higher altitudes and lower latitudes. So people that are closer to the equator are definitely going to have a lot more UV exposure than people that are higher latitudes. Also, the reflection off of things like the sun and sand. So people that are at the beach are definitely going to get a lot more sun exposure than say someone that's just playing in their backyard. Also, a big reflector is snow. So you could also potentially get sunburned if the sun was reflecting on snow. If you go tanning, sun lamps are notorious for making you get a sunburn. Medicines that you take, such as medicines for UTI or acne medicines, also people that have medical conditions like lupus are a lot more sensitive to the sun. According to the Mayo Clinic, the best way to protect against a sunburn is prevention. Obviously, if you have to be outside for large amounts of time, you want to stay in the shade, wear clothing. If the sun can't get to you, it can't damage your skin. Hats, especially if you are bald or you shave your head, hats are going to be your best friend, and the darker the color, the better the UV protection. Sunglasses with UVA and UVB protection. Sunscreen of at least 15 SPF. Now, with your sunscreen, make sure to check the expiration date and make sure it's still good, because it does expire. Also, cosmetic companies have gotten very socially conscious, and they now make SPF to wear underneath your makeup. This particular one is from Tarte. It's called Tarte Guard 30, so it has 30 SPF to put underneath your makeup. And common sense, don't use tanning beds. Per Dr. Kevin Berman at the U.S. National Library of Medicine, how to treat a sunburn is pretty simple. Take a cool shower or bath. Although I'll be honest with you, I recently got sunburn and taking a cool shower did no good. It caused my skin to stink really, really bad. So you might be better off with the bath versus the shower. If you have blisters, you want to try dry bandages, because as we all know, once a blister pops, that's when it gets the worst. Creams with vitamin E or C, one of the best ones out there, aloe vera gel. So definitely keep this handy. Cortisol creams really help with the inflammation. So if you're swelling, you definitely want to look into that. Loose clothing, because you don't want something touching something that's very painful on you, as if you needed another reason to wear yoga pants. And drink lots and lots of water. Dehydration is a huge factor when it comes to sunburns. Now, don't use vinegar. Vinegar has acid in it, which can cause the burns to get worse. Benzocaine or lidocaine, same reason. It can cause your burns to be worse because of allergic reaction to it. And also petroleum jelly. If you use petroleum jelly, it causes the heat and sweat to not be able to escape on your skin, so you're more likely to develop a skin infection, which is not awesome. Now, according to the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, melanoma is a specialized cancer in the cells, which happen to be melanin, which is the same cells that protect your skin. So these are some consequences to too much skin exposure. Melanoma is highly curable if it's found in time, but also melanoma is more likely to be spread if untreated. Per the CDC, 3/4 of all skin cancer deaths are from melanoma, so you definitely want to check your skin. According to the CDC, 42% of adults that burn at least one time in 2015. So almost half the population burned at least once last year. One or more blistering sunburns in your childhood or your adolescence more than doubles your melanoma risk. So if you burned a lot when you were a kid, you definitely want to check your skin constantly. 5 or more sunburns at any age and you double for the risk of melanoma. So in conclusion, no tan is a safe tan. If you must be outside for extended amounts of time, protect yourself and pay attention to your skin. According to WebMD, the best way is to remember your A, B, C, D, E. Asymmetry, border, color, diameter, and evolution. And if you see anything unusual on your skin, report it to your doctor. It's way better to be safe than sorry, because remember, melanoma can be cured if caught in time. Thank you. Now, because it was so far away, I'm actually going to bring the computer up to show you the slides, because I think they're important. That's a sunburn. That is when you're peeling from a sunburn. That is sun poisoning. Look at those beautiful blisters. That is melanoma, and I've actually seen that. I work in a hospital, so I've seen melanoma develop.